Hello, welcome to the Rabbit Hole podcast with me, your host, and today I'm joined by only one guest, and that is the ever-present Aaron Young. How are you?
Doing good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
So it's just a double act today.
Just a double act, yeah. Unfortunately, our other usual guest, Ali, is preoccupied with his girlfriend, so that's fair enough.
Unlike us losers.
And unlike us, I was sitting here delving into mysteries. And it's been quite a while. I feel like I'm always saying this when we start a new episode of a podcast, but it's been quite a while. But generally, just have been busy, and obviously this is just a hobby, so we're not gonna don't have a schedule to stick to as such. But we're back, and today's episode we're going to do Mysterious Disappearances Part 2.
3 new disappearances.
3 new disappearances that we're going to look at. Last time we done Madeline McCann, that boy who went missing. I forget his name.
I've forgotten already, but the one that it was with like the dog and the trunk and the lipstick. That was an interesting one.
Zeb,
something like that.
Zeb, something like that. We also looked at, what was the other one we looked at again?
Oh, I can't mind.
Anyway, we're back with more mysterious disappearances, and this first case we're going to look at is quite well known, I would say, especially if you're maybe British or Scottish.
To narrow it down.
To Scottish in
You've
particular.
at least may have like faintly heard this one.
Yeah, I mean it's been on internet mills for quite a while now.
Yeah.
There's always like when you always look at these top 5 disappearances or whatever, this maybe crops up every so often in it.
Yeah.
And that's the mysterious disappearances of 3 men from a lighthouse in Scotland, specifically the Flannan Isles, on 15th of December 1900. So to give a quick background, basically these 3 men were sent to this lighthouse obviously to man it.
The 3 men were called Thomas Marshall, James Ducat and Donald MacArthur.
Yep.
The most Scottish names you can
most
probably
Scottish
think
names
of.
you'll ever hear. And yeah, so they were obviously sent to this lighthouse to man it, and up until that point the island wasn't really occupied. It wasn't really, there's not much uninhabited, and going back to like I think it was the 7th century or something like that, locals, well not locals on the island but in the surrounding areas say that it had a curse on it.
Yeah, the ghost stories and that's pretty much a given.
Yeah.
Like, those time periods.
But yeah, it wasn't really. There's not much history to it apart from that those ghostly encounters apparently or whatever. But yeah, in 1894 I think it was, they decided to build a lighthouse there by the Northern Lighthouse Board. Northern Lighthouse Board, and it was commissioned. Let's have a look here. So yeah, it was completed in 1899, and it was first lit on 7th December 1899 to obviously, that was the Western Hebrides, there's a lot of islands there.
Yeah.
So that's why they decided to put a lighthouse there. So going back to the actual story, it all started on December 1900, where the 3 gentlemen were on the Hesperus.
Jim Harvey, captain of a ship called Hesperus.
Yeah, so Jim Harvey, it was the captain of this ship Hesperus, who was taking the 3 men to this island to obviously man the lighthouse.
Yeah.
They got off, and he waved them goodbye. And the plan was he come back in 19 days to take them away again. And little did he know he'd be the last ever human to ever see them again.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was they obviously went up to the island, and it was obviously winter, so it was going to be quite bad conditions,
especially up the North Atlantic.
Especially in the middle of nowhere. And when the guy came back, obviously they treacherous conditions, but they're 3 experienced men. He would have no.
Yeah, I think the indication was the winds were stronger than anticipated as well.
Yeah, so when he came back, obviously it was stronger than anticipated, but he still fully expected them to be fine. Why would he?
Yeah.
Because they're experienced 3 men. That's I'm guessing that's why they were chosen as well.
Yeah, well, there was 3 men and there was a 4th man doing rotation as
Yeah,
well on the
fourth man.
island.
Yeah, doing rotation as well.
His name I don't actually know. I didn't find the name for the 4th guy. I'm not sure if they mentioned
he's not really
that.
involved in it, so
No, yeah, but that just weren't that specified. There was actually 4.
when he came back, it was the way it was described was it was eerily quiet. Apart from obviously the ever-present seagulls and the crash of the waves against the rocks.
Rocks, yeah.
So I went up, surprised that there was no welcome party because that'd be usually.
I think they said like the wind flag or something was missing as well.
Yeah, no, the flag wasn't at half stand where it should have been. So obviously he's getting kind of alarm bells up from the get go.
Suspicious going on, yeah.
So he goes up to the lighthouse, and there's no sign of them anywhere. The door was locked, I believe, and when he went in, 2 of their jackets were gone. 2 of their
oilskins, I think they were called.
Oilskins, yeah.
One of them was there and the rest were missing.
Yeah.
Or well, presumably they put them on, but one didn't for some reason.
Yeah. And there was, I believe, cold ash in the fire bit. What other details were there?
There's been conflicting reports mainly about like there was like a meal missing, but then others say there wasn't a meal at all or anything like that.
I mean, I think the general consensus was that there wasn't any meals that's been added later on to give the story
more like dramatic.
Yeah,
yeah,
and also these journals as well.
Yeah, there was meant to be journals, but apparently there wasn't any journals, and they kept like saying there was like they were writing about their feelings and paranoia and that, but there was no proof that they've written anything apart from they were just saying that the weather conditions were getting a bit stronger than in what they predicted.
Yeah,
that is really it. There was nothing about them having any mental disorders or anything like that.
No. I mean, I think it was added on years later by an American pulp magazine.
Yeah, some like tabloid nonsense. Yeah,
just to kind of stir up a story or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, look at one of the journal entries here. It says the final log entry was made on the 15th of December, stating storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. It just doesn't seem like something unexperienced. What were they like? What was it actually? Was other
Lighthouse keepers.
Lighthouse
keepers.
Was
it something like that? Yeah, it must
yeah,
like that.
That's not something a professional veteran lighthouse keeper would write. So yeah, these journal entries, we're not going to get into them because, like we said, they're proven to be conjecture, speculation. You know, they're not actually really there. And if you do want to look into them, by all means do. But for the purpose of the story, they're not relevant because they're not real. They're not real.
One of the interesting things about when the head of the Hesperus ship, let me get his name up there, Jim Harvey, I think he's called.
Yeah.
Jim Harvey. Once he was at the lighthouse, he did report a telegram.
Yeah.
You see, left the 10th flight, Hesper returned to Lewis. Captain Harvey sent a telegram to the Northern Lighthouse Board on the 26th of December 1900 saying, this is what he said, a dreadful accident has happened at the Flannans. The 3 keepers, the Cat Marshal and the occasional have disappeared from the island. The clocks were stopped and other signs indicated that the accident must have happened about a week ago. Poor fellows, they must have been blown over the cliffs or drowned trying to secure a crane.
Yeah,
if we're going to talk about like the most realistic outcome of what happened here, it seems like a freak accident from the weather, strong waves.
Yeah, I mean,
harsh winds, all of that.
I mean, maybe that explains why the clocks are stopped as well. The water damage.
Maybe, but like, the clocks weren't connected to anything from like. They must have.
I'm trying to think of what clocks were like back then.
I'm assuming it worked the same, just as like what they do here. Like,
so with water damage,
no digital clocks and like that, so it's not as if like water would like short circuit the clock system. It was all they must have had separate times. So a strange detail that all the clocks have stopped is a bit of an odd one, and it adds a bit more of the spooky suspicion about it all.
Yeah, I mean the fact he's saying that they're thinking about it, surely, obviously, going by experience and that, and people knowing these waters, the bodies, if they did, obviously, it's well known fact, like we've touched on, that it was the weather conditions weren't the best.
No.
So, but even if they got worse than expected, and they did, get caught by a freak wave, their bodies would have still washed up upon shore.
Possibly.
By a week, especially a week later. I mean, it wouldn't take
the
that.
Bodies weren't found.
They weren't found at all.
No.
So basically, to give you the kind of overarching theory is basically that because the protocol is there always needs to be one man in the lighthouse, so that explains why there's still one left.
Yeah.
And the 2 went. There was one of the things that was confirmed that they did right was that there was damage on the west, or was it the one of the ports? Was it? Let's have a look. There was damage somewhere anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and the two of them went down to kind of fix it.
Yeah.
And obviously one stayed because as per protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Then the one who was in Lighthouse noticed this freak wave coming, and tried to warn the two others.
Yeah, I think so it says here like it was possible MacArthur may have seen a large wave approaching
Yeah.
on the island, and knowing likely danger, ran down to warn only to be washed away.
Yeah, and it got all three of them. Then
Yeah.
they still didn't explain why no bodies were found. Why the door was locked.
The clocks as well.
The
Is
clocks
one
were
that keeps throwing
stopped.
me off. Yeah, the
I
door was
mean-
locked. I mean, was that just a safety precaution from the lighthouse keepers? Is that what they have to do as a rule when they have to leave the premises? They just lock it.
I mean, if you're in a rush, you wouldn't do that, would you?
Well, I mean, locking takes a couple of seconds, and depending how fast he'd done it, I don't really know for certain. I mean, locks back then must have been a bit more sturdy than what they are now, so maybe that's a weird detail.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just going with like this is large freak wave, and you're a veteran, and you're panicking. You wouldn't. I don't know. I just wouldn't lock the door behind me. I'd be rushing out the door. And then the clocks, like you said, the clocks were why the clock stopped.
Yeah.
Um,
And details like that kind of lead into like all the theories of like paranormal, like
Yeah.
ghosts. Oh, it already had the kind of like mythical legend to
they had it. Yeah,
abducted by aliens
of
because
course.
anyone goes missing, the aliens are just
They're always
on
involved.
keen. Yeah.
I'm not saying it was aliens.
but
It was aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of main theory. That's the one I buy into.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, there are other theories such as a pretty bonkers one where one of the men, who knows who, killed the other two men by throwing them off the edge,
Mhm.
and he felt guilty and topped himself off as well. But again, where's the bodies?
Where's the bodies?
And
There would have been some sort
It
of
just
trace.
just seems, why would one man just go crazy and kill it? It just makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
It all seems very dramatised.
it does.
The whole stuff about like suicide or one went crazy.
Yeah,
When in probably the most practical and sense in reality is just a freak weather accident.
yeah. I mean,
Seems like it.
I think that is it. I mean, having a look here, apparently MacArthur, one of the lighthouse keepers, was a volatile character, but then
Was
it's
there
just-
any evidence indicating that he had like a volatile personality?
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
how do we know this?
Yeah, and especially since we know the journal entry, the supposed journal entries haven't been proven true. It's
Yeah,
speculative
I mean, if
at
you put
best.
the log, the log entry, into it, it makes it more interesting. But like again, they're not. I think they're pretty much confirmed not to be real.
Yeah.
The only ones they did wrote was about the storm a wee bit,
Yeah,
and about the damage and the crane.
yeah, yeah. I'm sticking with my theory.
My laptop's trying to make noises, but yeah, I'm sticking with that one as well. I mean, aliens. Who knows? Maybe their alien technology is what could have stopped the clocks, interfered with them somehow
Maybe.
magnetically.
A time vortex came and they sent them back to like 1790.
Yeah. I'm just having a look here. It's actually in a Doctor Who episode. This.
Horrifying rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must have been
Okay.
like one of the old classic episodes.
Yeah, and it was an opera as well.
Yeah, there's a lot, but there's been a lot of a lot of folklore about this
Yeah.
mysterious disappearance. It's already had its own like paranormal experience before this, and then this must have
Just
really
taken it to
riled
different
up.
levels.
It must have really riled up the townsfolk now. Like, oh, there's definitely ghosts. There's definitely been kidnappings.
Genesis made a song about it as well.
I think the
The Mystery of
unreleased.
Flying Owl Lighthouse.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So it's pretty like for somewhere that's really small and isolated, it's garnered quite a lot
It
of like,
has.
cultural relevancy just from this mysterious disappearance, and there hasn't been anything mysterious ever since.
no, I mean,
You'd think if there was like a paranormal thing, it'd have a reoccurring theme.
exactly.
But as far as I'm aware, there's nothing else.
But then, think about it. If there's something maybe paranormal there, surely it might have some history, like someone's died there,
Yep.
or something tragic is
Or
there.
mysterious figures running about in like
Yeah.
midnight or something like
But,
that,
like-
as the
like-
usual ghost stories go.
Like we said, this had no history prior to this. There's
Yeah.
no one inhabiting it before
Well, there
this.
has been ghost
Yeah.
myths, but that's
But that's
best
but,
at it.
there was no one up until this point. Has no one actually been living on it.
No.
So where would these ghosts come from? You know.
Yeah, pretty desolated.
Um, But like we say, it's still you can actually still visit it today.
Yeah, you can still go there.
I'd love to go, but
I don't think it like. I don't know if visitors are allowed. I think I
yeah,
think it's stated that the only time it gets visitors is for maintenance purposes.
yeah. Um, but yeah, the Northern Lighthouse Board basically came to the same. The what's the Oxum was it Oxum's razor, Occam's razor.
Yeah.
They basically used that saying what's likely happened is they've got this big waves came
Washed away.
washed them away.
Yep.
Again, the bodies really should have been found, but then sometimes it
Maybe
just
they get washed up for somewhere else, and then if it's been well over 100 years now,
yeah
so if they do find them for whatever reason, it's probably just bones and dust at this point.
yeah yeah like Mother Nature's
Is it not possible the bodies would have sank as well? Maybe if they had heavy clothing on?
probably not. I mean, it probably still would have came to the top in that.
Yeah.
But like I said, Mother Nature, the most unpredictable thing in the
And
world.
yeah, it has no sympathy at all. It takes whatever.
It gives us, it takes us,
Gives and takes away.
gives it and takes away. But yeah, that's kind of a wee missed. That's basically not much else to talk about that really.
Yeah. It's a nice. I think it's why a lot of people talk about it, because it's just a perfect atmosphere for a horror story.
It is.
An isolated island in the middle of nowhere, up the north in winter.
Yeah.
Cold, dark, miserable, creepy. It's a very because it happened so long ago, and obviously try to piece information about this is very spotty.
Yeah.
It just opens up. It's inevitably going to open up all these weird
Yeah.
theories of ghosts.
What we know did happen. I mean, even looking at the map here, I mean, it's just the Western Hebrides are pretty far out as it is.
Yeah,
And this is even further out.
Yeah, even so. See, I know.
But what we know these three men did disappear,
Yeah.
and something happened to them. We just can't get.
There's nothing conclusive about it.
Yeah, but
And I don't think there will ever be anything conclusive about it now.
no, it's if they're, I'm sure they have family who are still living today.
Ancestors.
They'll already moved on by now, I presume.
Mm.
I mean, probably been passed down from family, like generation to generation, that their great granddad is part of this big mystery. But the world's moved on from it. Something happened to these three men. We don't know what. We can pretty strongly guess what happened.
Yeah.
Like
There's a very you can relatively suggest
yeah.
what happened here.
But then we could be wrong. But
yeah.
I mean, again, Occam's razor.
Yeah,
that is.
I know, and all the other theories are so out there. It's hard to really say that it was.
I mean, there's slight evidence for this, but there's absolutely no evidence for aliens coming down or whatever, or paranormal or whatever, or one man going crazy.
Yeah.
Occam's razor again. That's what you need when you get these situations. That's what you always need to go by.
Yeah.
So I think big wave just took
Cool.
away.
It's a cool story.
Yeah.
It's definitely a story you'd hear at a campfire.
Definitely.
It's a good creepy story.
And I think
I enjoy it.
the clock one, the clock stopping story is just like a red herring. It could have been anything.
Could be anything. Yeah. Maybe they just stopped working. There's that possibility.
I mean, coincidence that they all what? How many clocks?
It's a weird coincidence that they all stopped working if they had more than one clock, but
yeah, or maybe
weird stuff like that happens sometimes.
The guys were tinkering with them, and
maybe
who knows. Yeah, I think we'll move on to our next mystery.
Yeah, another mysterious disappearance.
This one, we'll actually link in with the last one slightly because they're both kind of airline mysteries, both aviation mysteries.
Yeah,
that's the word we'll use. Aviation mysteries. We'll start with probably certainly the biggest modern one.
Yeah,
there's so much to this.
Yeah, a lot to unpack with this one.
That's Malaysia. Oh, shut up. My laptop. So yeah, this is Malaysia Airline Flight 370. If you haven't heard of this,
where have you been?
You've been living with SpongeBob under the sea.
Possibly with the plane.
Possibly, yes, possibly with the plane.
Yeah, to give you a wee indication of what's happening with this plane.
Like I said, I'm sure everyone who's listening to this knows what happened here, but I'll give you as detailed and as quick as I can do it. So basically, this Malaysia Air Flight 370 left Malaysia, obviously, from
Kuala Lumpur.
That's
to
it.
Beijing. That's that was the destination. To.
It's one of 2 flights every day, isn't it?
I think so.
I do this flight twice a day or something along those lines, and it's only due to take over just over 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
but it never made it to Beijing.
Nope.
Um,
It kind of went the opposite direction.
yeah, so basically, it left at when did it leave? It left about 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And it was flying over. Obviously, it left Malaysia, was going towards Beijing, and then it kind of
It got to. It was the Gulf of Thailand.
we got to
Is that what it was?
Gulf of Thailand, and that's where they lost contact with air traffic control.
Yeah.
But before that, when they were in contact, it all seemed normal. They were saying the normal things you expect to hear from your captain. And then after that, I lost contact, but they could still guess what it was based from satellite.
Yeah, satellite from the military as
Yeah.
well. I think had some like influence with this as well. It went and took. It was a right turn at first, and then it all of a
It
sudden
took
took
a slight right turn, and it took a pretty much almost
a
a
humongous U-turn from the
Yeah.
left and went down the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, and it also took it went downwards in um,
Altitude.
altitude. That's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah, it went downwards in altitude as well, which is very questionable. Then it
Yep.
kind of went and it turned again towards where was it? Was it not Thailand? It was Indonesia. So here's the I'm looking at the flight path now. So yeah, it went left from Malaysia towards Beijing, made a slight right turn,
Right turn.
made a drastic
U-turn.
U-turn back over Malaysia.
Yeah.
Then it kind of went up towards
Then it went.
kind of Indonesia way.
Yeah.
Then went through past that, turned again. Then it was out in the middle of nowhere in the Indian Ocean.
Yep.
Then it kept flying straight for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Then that's when it finally
And it's when they totally lost any sort of contact with it.
yeah.
And I remember them saying that they had enough fuel for 7 hours.
Yeah, so the flight was meant to take just over 5.
Yeah.
Had enough fuel for 7.
So even if they had an emergency landing, they had enough fuel to get to said emergency landing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if they were desperate. They could have easily found somewhere else, but for whatever reason, it spawned off into somewhere else. And considering where they last heard from them, is the most likely scenario is that they crashed
Yeah, I mean,
into the Indian Ocean
Yeah.
well,
kind of off the west coast of Australia.
west coast of Australia and sort of the east end of Africa as well, in
Yeah,
Madagascar, kind of bit.
They're around about that area in the Indian Ocean anyway.
Yeah.
But then looking at the flight path, you're thinking that if it is trying to get back to Malaysia because it's in danger for whatever reason, needs an emergency landing, why does it fly all the way over Malaysia up towards
Yep.
kind of past Indonesia, then back across the Indian Ocean? This doesn't add up.
Yeah, I wonder. Did they hear? Did they hear any contact from the plane?
No, so basically after they lost contact, it's widely accepted that it was automatically turned off in the cockpit.
Oh yeah, they said it was they had
Manually
turned off. Yeah.
So that's a red
That
flag.
That raises some suspicions.
Yeah, so no people could have done it was actually in the cockpit. So we'll have a look who was actually on the flight.
Yep.
So going by alphabetical order here, there was 6 Australians,
Mhm.
2 Canadians, 153 Chinese, 4 French, 5 Indian, 7 Indonesia, 2 Iranians, 50 Malaysians, 1 Dutch, 2 New Zealand, 1 Russia, 1 Taiwan, 2 Ukraine, and 3 United States. That's just I don't know if that's including the staff as well.
I don't think it is including the staff. I think that's just the passengers.
If let's have a look, 227 passengers. No, that includes staff.
All includes the staff.
So 239 in total, and there was 227 passengers. And after this, obviously, once it went missing, they had to look into a possible hijacking based on this kind of evidence.
Yep.
And what immediately raised suspicion was the 2 Iranians had fake passports.
Yeah.
And they'd only came into Malaysia a week earlier.
Yes.
But digging a bit deeper, it looks like they were just trying to escape Iran.
Yeah, through fake passports. No any
malice.
No malice, and there was no. They done background checks. There was no like links to terrorism or
No.
anything like that.
They
And
just
they weren't
asylum seekers.
experienced, the flyers as well.
No.
So I don't see them pulling it off successfully.
No.
And if they did, they obviously done a bad job then
Yeah.
because they went off the Indian Ocean.
So yeah, they were just basically asylum seekers.
Yeah.
Trying to escape Iran. So yeah, they're got nothing to do with it. So the only people who really raise suspicion in is the pilot.
The pilot, yeah. Well, there's two pilots. There's
Two pilots.
the experienced one who's been like who was in it for 30 odd years, and the co-pilot who was only I think 7 years. They
7 years,
said,
yeah.
yeah.
And they had a look at them. There's nothing really suspicious there either. The captain, they checked his flight simulator, and there was nothing really suspicious about the flights he was simulating. So it doesn't look like he was planning to hijack it.
No.
And then looking at his co-pilot, there was nothing on him either.
Yeah.
And then the other passengers are all just normal passengers and nothing really there.
Yeah.
So then it begs the question everyone's been asking for the last, how many years now?
Well, was it 2014 it
Yeah.
went away? Yeah, so that's been 5 years
5.
now. Yeah.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, the closest evidence they've found to the scrappage, I think they found one of the wings
Yeah, one
on
of the wing
east
flaps.
end of Africa that washed up on
Yeah.
the east end.
And the position it was in, it was a straight angle.
Yeah, so as if it took a
Nosedive.
nosedive into the ocean.
So that's scary.
That is pretty scary, especially if you're like a passenger and
Yeah.
you have no idea what's happening.
There's also a theory that when they were travelling straight for the 5 hours until it finally crashed, they were all unconscious at that point because there might have been some sort of leakage or something
Aye.
that knocked all.
Talking about the speed as well, the plane that might
And the
have.
speed as well
Yeah.
would have possibly knocked him
I
out.
don't know if the speed is fast enough for someone to pass out.
Yeah.
It depends, but
But it
it's a pretty frightening situation to be in.
is.
And it must be even worse for the families who have no answers at all.
Yeah, I mean, also we want answers. Imagine what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But people just think, obviously, based on the flight path and that, it's something's manually happened here. Something's definitely strange is going on. It's not just been a unfortunate crash or some foul play going on here.
Yeah.
And I would have to be inclined to agree with that, especially based on the drastic turns and the altitude changes.
I remember one of the theories say that it could have been a possible electronic hijacking
Yeah,
by some anonymous like computer expert.
yeah, like who knows, but no one's came forward, and surely if this is a really advanced hijacking, if you'd want to be like obviously thinking of their mindset, you'd want to be the one who claims this,
Yeah.
saying oh it was me done that, but no one's came forward.
And if someone was to electronically hijack it, what would be the purpose of it? And especially,
Yeah.
why would they take in that direction?
Um,
Because I think I've got something here. Notable proponents of this phase include the Malaysian Prime Minister. So
yeah,
he's actually kind of bought into the phase that can have like electronic hijacking. Clearly, Boeing and certain agencies have the capacity to take over uninterruptible control of commercial airlines, of which MH370B777 is one.
yeah, but all the relevant kind of companies involved have said yeah it's not possible.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know who said it, but it was. I think it was the airport said it was actually impossible
Yeah, I think
for
was
someone
it
to
not
hijack it that way.
It was not Immersat.
Immerstat.
No,
Is
if
it
I
the-
did a telecommunications company. Either way, the relevant companies like Boeing. Sorry, it was a Boeing 77. Yeah, Boeing 77 plane, and basically I was saying that's not possible, which seems to me is a case like that does not seem that something that would be possible. And if it is possible, that's a massive flaw,
Yeah.
and obviously very very high risk security
Yeah, there's a lot.
purposes. But
You'd
yeah.
have to properly.
And if it was possible, you think it happened a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not possible.
Yeah.
End
Have
of.
you heard of the theory that North Korea might be involved in it?
Oh no, enlighten me.
Yeah, I've got this little bit here. So apparently the story circulated on Reddit. That the flight had sufficient fuel to be hijacked to North Korea, as was done in 1969. So this is something that's actually happened before. So it says in late July 2015, in the article about the MH370 conspiracy theories. So nothing confirmed, but it briefly mentioned that it had received an email claiming the US had authorised the plane to be shot down because it was allegedly carrying a nuclear warhead to North Korea. And then, but then it immediately added a joke saying it could be aliens.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
that kind of went nowhere.
I just don't think North Korea would have the technology to do this either. I mean,
Well, considering that they've actually hijacked Korean
Yeah.
airlines before, that probably laid it into it, but
I think North
Yeah.
Korea got too much on their plate just now to.
I know.
I mean, it's something they'd want to maybe do, but because North Korea are mental, but I just don't see that at all.
Yep.
Um, Other theories, obviously, like we've looked at the captain, we've looked at obviously aliens. Like based on stuff, like it's hard to discount it.
Mm.
You can't. Obviously, believing in aliens is another matter altogether. But based on the little to no evidence, you can't discount something like that. You know?
Yeah, like either alien or vortex.
Yeah,
Some people said that like got
a
sucked
black
into like
hole.
a black hole. But if a black hole were to come into our atmosphere, I'm fairly certain we would
Yeah.
know this by now. It's not as if they just come and go like that, like a snap of the fingers.
And the fact that debris been found, bits and pieces. Not only just when we were touched on obviously that flight flap thing, there
Mm.
has been other, like not mentioned. There has been other piece evidence that link back to it.
Did they say they found pieces in Cambodia as well?
Yeah, they found pieces in like a lot of places.
I don't know if the Cambodia one was confirmed though, but I did hear about like they found some of those like wreckage in
There's.
that place.
I was looking up ages ago. This YouTube channel called Lemino.
Yeah,
You know him.
yeah,
I
I
was
do.
watching one of his videos on it,
Mhm.
and basically see the wreckage that's found. They've categorized it into three different things. So there's um, wreckage that is conclusively from this flight because there's serial numbers on it and they can link it back. There's one that's very likely but they can't prove it, and there's ones that are inconclusive,
Okay.
such as like maybe like a seat or something.
Yeah.
Because obviously seats wouldn't have like maybe like serial numbers and that, so you can't actually say it's from.
Mm.
But the fact that obviously bits and bobs have been found makes me stress there's not going to be a black hole or into
No.
aliens or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so have a look here. Reported sightings as well. News media reported several sightings of an aircraft fitting the description of the plane. For example, CNN reported that witnesses, including fishermen, an oil rig worker, and people on the Kuda Havlu atoll in the Maldives saw the missing airliner. Apparently, they saw a burning object in the sky. A claim creditor for the Vietnamese authorities to search and rescue, and an Indonesian fisherman reported a missing aircraft. So there was sightings of it.
Does that indicate though, like those sightings have been correct? Because it depends on how far away they were. Because the Maldives is quite far out,
Yeah,
so it could have been anything.
it could have been.
Yeah,
But the
they
fact,
might have seen something. Yeah, because there also was that fear that the plane caught fire.
yeah, I'm looking at that as several different witnesses who say they saw something
So
burning in the
several
sky.
witnesses saw something burning in the sky. Yeah,
That could just be like
and
maybe.
was it around the same date
Yeah, it
of
was
when
around
it went
about
missing?
the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah.
Yep.
But then again, you could be anything, but it probably is highly likely that was that.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
But what I keep coming back to is, I think everyone's. I did crash, right? It did crash.
Yeah.
It crashed, but the thing that keeps getting everyone and me as well is just the path, the strange
I know the path.
altitude change direction.
I know. I really wanted to see if there was any like recordings of the path, like the pilot saying
The
anything.
black box.
Yeah.
That's what, like, when you get these types of accidents, that's the one thing that is the key, the black box.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what records
Because
all the.
that might give them a reason why they actually went off in the
Yeah.
direction. Didn't the air traffic try to say to them, like to like go into another like airport for landing?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, response by air
Response
traffic
by
control.
control at
See if anything like that.
1:38, the Ho Chi Minh area, so that's the Chinese airport, contacted the original airport, Kuala Lumpur, to query the whereabouts. They've not established contact. Um, let's have a look. Not seeing info. What was it you were asking?
Hmm?
What was it you were asking for?
For if air traffic said was in communication with them before they went missing.
Oh, what they were saying beforehand. So I think they basically were just. I think it was just normal, normal dialogue between them.
Okay. Was there no suspicions? None of the
From that,
plane didn't say anything about there's been a slight malfunction or anything like
no,
that?
so
No.
basically the last message was along the lines of, Malaysia Air Flight 370, good night.
Oh, good night. Okay.
But that's common practice
Yeah.
to say
Yeah, 'cause it was pretty early in the morning or during the like sort
Yeah,
of
I would say after good morning or
in the,
whatever.
yeah.
So yeah, basically we're just saying. I think the last contact was um, going back to our previous research before we started recording was that they were on course for Beijing. Um, last contact, okay, 20 minutes until next contact, good night or whatever.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, so
And then
no emergency
no
contacts or anything
emergency
like
call,
that.
everything
No.
seemed normal.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then someone in the cockpit is more very likely that they switched off the communications, and then that's obviously where they lost contact officially, but then he could still see it roughly where it was, judging
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
satellite.
Yeah.
But then again, like we talked at the start of this case, and everyone can, what actually and why did it do this turns? Why did it do the altitude change? I
Yes.
mean the altitude. I mean one of the things was that it was pre-programmed. So
Pre-programmed.
basically, obviously you get autopilot.
Yeah.
The autopilot was pre-programmed to do this.
Yeah.
Because that dramatic turn that and the altitude change. But why? Why was it
Unless the autopilot had a malfunction itself. But
possibly?
even if it did, surely
You're
the
getting
pilots.
contact.
Yeah, but even surely the pilots experienced enough can get it back on course
Yeah,
direction.
I mean, the captain had what 18,000 over 18,000
Aye.
hours worth of flight
Unless
experience.
yeah, it was over 30 years, and the other one had about 7 years. So it's not as if they're totally inexperienced. So
Exactly.
unless both of them were steaming drunk
Yeah,
and couldn't like know how to do it,
but I'm
without
sure you get tests
autopilot.
beforehand. Not tests, but you get
Yeah,
checked in that to make sure your flight
Aladdin,
perfect.
Aladdin and Luffy, they were both pissed.
And they were both
They
pissed.
both were on a bender. They
They're
went
on,
on the
they're on
plane.
a mad bevy.
Yeah, but couldn't control it because they thought, oh, the autopilot would take care of it, and then it curved off. Maybe that could be it as well.
I mean, one thing I've just been thinking of, maybe one of them had a psychotic episode. I
Possibly.
mean, but then
But
look at
that's the
the
reason
back.
for the co-pilot to
Yeah,
put it back into course direction.
um, again, I they had no the pilots had no normal enough flights had no experience as far as I'm looking up. They had no previous conditions or whatever, no other scares. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking for them, I did have a psychotic episode for whatever reason. Done this. Surely the other one would, unless they both had
Yeah.
a psychotic. But I mean, that's just extremely
Very
unlikely.
Very unlikely. Going by from the evidence and what I've seen, and from that, like the piece has been washed up in Africa, they definitely just had, I think, just a complete malfunction, and they couldn't control the plane, and eventually it just caved.
Yeah,
and
the
they
fact
had to
that
crash.
the last kind of path it took was 5 hours in a straight line.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem there's any struggle there.
maybe
Because I mean, surely if you're destined to your death, it would be like very quick. It wouldn't be
sudden.
5 hours.
I know. Yeah, I know. That seems like the most likely theory, but there's still so many holes
And I mean, like,
in it that I can't really
I
pinpoint
mean, the
what
plane.
actually
It's
happened.
looking at the plane itself. It was in. I think it was 11 years old.
Yeah.
It was a kind of standard Boeing.
It had no
777.
other malfunctions.
Had no
beforehand.
malfunctions
Yeah, it didn't
whatsoever.
have anything like that.
So I mean, the fact that a malfunction is unlikely. I mean, these things are built to last,
I know.
and they're very thoroughly tested. They've
Yeah,
obviously
there's obviously regulations. That
regulations and things like that. So a malfunction, although likely, is possible. Sorry, to me it seems unlikely.
Yep.
Even if they have a malfunction, surely they'd still be able to get in contact.
I know.
So it's just more. There's so many questions with this. There's more
Yeah.
questions than
You
answers.
feel like you're getting somewhere with it, and then like the plane direction itself, it kind of
Yeah,
veers off.
that's the thing. I mean, people, if it just had one kind of normal flight path and just something happened and it crashed, it would not necessarily be an open shut case, but it just, I mean, be more like it's so complicated this case, and also where they think it crashed based on the satellite things and that. I mean, they've searched it.
Yep.
There's nothing there,
Nothing
and
there.
they've scanned the sea floor.
Have they scanned it from like West Australia and
I think
Africa as well?
yeah, I mean, it's the most expensive flight
Flight search
ever,
yeah.
rescue ever.
Oh yeah, it cost like I think the Malaysian government like millions and
Hundreds
hundreds
of millions.
Yeah.
Obviously private companies as well.
Yeah.
And there's no, apart from the debris that's washed up, there's no trace of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like that just adds to the mystery as well. Like, it's a big air flight. If you have a rough idea, big aircraft. Sorry, if you have a rough idea where it is, and you've got this technology nowadays to scan the sea floor, if nothing's found, just adds to it.
I know.
And that's maybe why people think aliens were involved. It took it away in that, but
I'm just going by the most likely outcome of just a freak accident. But I'm open to hear more information. If anyone has any more information, I'll
yeah,
definitely research a lot more to see if there's any other new leads. But those are the only leads I could find. That
I think one of the
I've not seen any new updates or anything like that.
no, I think it's just becoming a cold case now.
I know it's 5 years now, so
5 years. I mean, they're all dead. I mean, the
yeah,
house then they're dead. It's just kind of getting closure with their families.
Yep.
But it's just such a strange one. I was going to say something, but it's went right out of my head. Yeah, like the fact I just the scanned the C4, they couldn't find anything. Just
Yeah.
it's just baffling.
it is baffling.
So missed anything on this? I mean, there's so much to it. That's annoying. I forgot what I was going to say there. That's annoying me. But I'll think of it. I'll come back to it. Have a look here. So yeah, there's been the most recent search was in 2018.
That was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Did it conclude anything?
Let's have a look here. So, see so they're going to do a global map of the ocean floor. So hopefully might find something there. In March, oh here we go, March 2019.
Oh right, okay.
In the wake of the fifth anniversary of disappearance, the Malaysian government stated it was willing to look at any credible leads or specific proposals regarding a new search. Because obviously the official search was closed after 3 years, I think, because obviously they weren't getting anywhere and they can only pour so much money into it.
Yeah.
Ocean Infinity, which I think is the independent company that are looking as well, stated they're ready to resume the search as well
Right.
on the same no fee, no fines basis, believing they would benefit from the experience they gained from their search wreck of the Argentina submarine. So unless a submarine that went missing, I presume. The most probable location still being somewhere along the arc. So yeah, basically where that satellite kind of judged where it crashed, they're saying that's where it's most likely to be discovered.
Yeah.
But what I think is hopeful as well, I don't think this plane would, if it is lying in the ocean somewhere, it would still be there for a year. I mean, there's ships that are still there for hundreds of years, so a plane surely can still last underwater.
Yeah. Especially if it was only there for a couple of years.
Yeah,
There still should be something.
yeah, it should be.
They have found one scrap, but nothing else.
I mean, that's the main piece of evidence, but they have found
Yeah.
other stuff.
That is probably the most like strong indicator that they have crashed and not like vanished.
Yeah. But I think we can move on unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No, I think I've said most of
Yeah. That's annoying.
most of the info
That's
that's out
annoying.
there.
Do you ever get that way? You're about to say something, then it just immediately goes out your head?
Yep.
Because I was going to say something earlier about it, but I cannot remember what it was. That's annoying me. But we'll move on to our next and final mystery, which is another aviation mystery. And that was probably the most famous aviation mystery up until this one.
Of the 20th century, yeah.
Yeah, that's everyone knows her. It's Amelia Earhart.
Yep.
This one's not as complicated as that one, I would say.
There's still some weird circumstances.
There's some weird circumstances, but it doesn't have the same kind of weird flight path and things like that.
Yeah.
So basically, a bit of background on Amelia Earhart. She was a very renowned pilot, basically, pioneer and author.
Yep.
A very famous woman at the time.
First woman to cross the Atlantic.
First woman to cross the Atlantic, yeah. Also the first person to go the longest distance without refueling.
Yep.
And she went from, where was it, LA to Newark.
New York, yeah,
Yeah.
that was it, yeah. So a whole continent she flew.
Basically a whole continent,
Yeah.
yeah. So she was a very good and a very experienced pilot.
Highly respected.
Highly
yeah.
respected as well. And her goal was basically to become the first person to go around the globe. And the plan was to do it in 40 days, just over a month.
Yeah.
But as we wouldn't be discussing it otherwise if it didn't all end in tragedy
And mystery.
and mystery. So basically, yeah, she left. Where did she leave from? Let's have a look here. She left. She left from America. So basically, I think she's going to do 4 stops along the way. Was it?
Yeah, she was en route to Howland Island from Ley in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
The same sort of like area where the previous
Yeah, it's a bit. I think it's just a
disappearance was we're
coincidence,
talking
but
about. Yeah, any pilots are there, just stay away from the the southwest of the globe, Indonesia, and that. There just seem to be a lot of disappearances there.
I don't know. And also the fact that it was during World War or round about not
1937, she
so just
disappeared.
before World War Two,
Mm.
which is a bit of a coincidence itself as well. But
Yep.
yeah, so basically she was going for Island Road from. She had a few stops, but our last departure was from Leh.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last stops was from I think that's how you pronounce it, Leh, which is in Asia, to go towards Howland, um,
Howland Island.
Howland Island, yeah,
Yeah.
to refuel, like you said, and then she never arrived there.
Nope.
So basically, she left from Leh, and she was still in contact for the most part with um, air traffic control, and she wasn't alone in this flight. Let's not forget she was with another guy. What was his name?
He is Howland.
No, that was the island.
Oh yeah, sorry.
His name was Noonan.
Noonan, that was it. Yeah.
What's his first? I can't remember his first name again. But we'll call him Noonan for the time being.
Time being.
I can't tell if I remember his first name, but yeah, she was with this guy Noonan who was her co-pilot. And they were in contact with air traffic control, and basically there was more kind of was it headwind than expected, and they struggled to get in contact with her.
Yeah.
But then they eventually did, and
She released her coordinates.
yeah.
I mean that was one of the last things she said, and it was I can't seem to find the coordinates, but
She basically said, or basically said she was like 8,000 feet or something, whatever the weather was like, and status okay,
yep.
and then after that no contact.
Yeah, it was Fred Noonan, by the way.
Fred Noonan,
That's
there
his
we
name,
go,
yeah.
Freddy boy.
Freddy boy.
So yeah, after that there was no contact ever again. But air traffic control try to get in contact with her to say, oh listen, the weather's getting quite bad.
Yep.
But then they're
Because the winds were stronger than expected as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
but they actually had her on radar, and it seemed like she was very close enough that they could maybe go outside and see her.
Yeah.
So they went outside, but there was no sign of her whatsoever. And obviously never really heard from again.
Mm-hmm.
So theories of this one as well is that she just crashed.
Crashed and died on impact.
But there's
Some people said.
but there's evidence that she actually went up to 10,000 feet. She
Yeah.
confirmed she was 8,000 feet. But evidence maybe she just went up to 10,000 feet for whichever reason, which would have been kind of odd to do considering the low fuel she was on, because that would take up a lot of fuel to go upwards. But they're saying maybe it was to get out of the headwinds, out of the clouds,
Yeah.
maybe to avoid mountains. But then surely if you're going to avoid mountains, you surely must know they're in the first place. So
Yeah.
what's the need to climb to avoid mountains if you're no longer going to be there
Yeah,
anyway?
that would have been thought about in the plan before flying.
Exactly. So also the main thing is she crashed and perished, but there's theories that she actually landed on a different island.
Yep.
Which is called. It's got a weird name. What was that one called? Gardner Island,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also called Nukamaroro. Is that she actually landed there, and obviously it's not. I don't think it's not really inhabited. I don't think.
No.
It's only inhabited by these crab things.
Yeah, there's active like animal species, but not human civilization. I think.
Yeah, these big crabs are pretty big,
Yeah.
and apparently there's a theory that they ate her.
Yeah, which
It's quite
pretty silly.
grim and silly, but years later, someone found bones on that island.
Mm-hmm.
Only one set of bones, mind you, like skull in that.
One set of bones, no
Not
two.
two, which would kind of displace this theory. But it got tested by this scientist, whatever, who concluded that it would have been from a um, small European man. And then then immediately after that, he got rid of it for some strange reason.
Burned them.
Burned them for whatever reason. I guess back then, protocol, whatever, it wasn't the same strictness we've got nowadays.
The man wrote about the skeleton, said it may be definitely stated that the skeleton is that of a male.
Of European descent.
Yeah, European descent.
Yeah. So he basically looked at it as like, no, I don't think it's her.
Yeah, it looked like he said it was about 45 to 55 years old, the man as well, or whoever the bones were.
Which obviously doesn't match up with Amelia. But, years later, obviously new scientists or new researchers often didn't have the bones, but they looked at his research and his notes and that, and they concluded it could have also been a young female of European descent, and it kind of matched up to Amelia.
I think so. I think I've got it here. It says in 1998, analysis of the measurement data by forensic anthropologists found instead that the skeleton had belonged to a tall white female of Northern European ancestry. But however, a 2015 review of both analyses concluded that the most robust scientific analysis and conclusions are those of the original British finding, indicating that the Nakuma Roro bones belong to a robust middle-aged man, not Amelia Earhart. So one minute they're saying it's a man, next minute they're saying, oh no, it could be a woman from European descent, and then they go back to saying it's a man again.
But then this opens a new mystery in itself. Who was this?
That person? Yeah. If he was European descent, what was he doing down there?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's nowhere near Europe.
No.
I mean, who was this person? I mean, that's a different. I don't think anyone's even discussed that.
No, it seems that seems like another
its own mystery, but no one's actually discussed it.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But either way, I don't think it would have been her anyway, because surely there'd have been two sets. Or maybe the other set is elsewhere, maybe they split off for whatever reason. But yeah, I think it's safe to say it's not him or her. No, also going to other theories then, is that obviously, like we touched on, this is just before World War II broke out.
Yeah.
So maybe people are saying the Japanese
might have something to do with it.
Something to do with it. Maybe they captured her.
Yeah.
And then there's basically two kind of theories within this theory here. First one being that they captured her. Years later, them both go. They got new identities, and then she got married and renamed
herself.
So basically, she was already renamed. Then she got married, and her second name is her name. But then this woman was a real person.
Yeah. She found out.
She found out. It's like, no, that's not me. It's not as me, but I'm not Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, but I think she sued them as well, because there was a book published about the theory, and she obviously saw that.
Imagine that, like someone finding out who you are and saying, "Oh no, not finding out, but finding out about you." And it's like, "Oh wait, you're Amelia Earhart."
Yeah, you're not who you say you are. You're a woman who flew across the Atlantic.
Yeah,
hiding in America for some reason.
I mean, whoever came to that conclusion in the first place is just.
It's got a lot of time on their hands, and they should be doing something.
How did they link it back to Japan and that? And yeah.
And what is the purpose of Amelia working with the government?
Is that right? Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on that yet.
Yeah.
Basically,
it kind of ties in with that about her like changing her identity to be a spy or something.
Yeah, so basically part of the theory is as well that Japanese catched her because she was a spy.
Yeah.
And the second part of the theory is obviously the first one was that she got released and she changed her identity. The second kind of bit of it is that they did capture her, the Japanese, but they executed her. And obviously Fred Noonan.
Yep. There was a photograph going about as well. It was like near like what a Japanese, like on that island.
Yeah.
It was in Japanese territory at the time, and they found like a woman who looked like Amelia Earhart. Yeah. But then I think it was someone online found out that the photograph was documented in 1935, which was 2 years before before the disappearance. So I think that's another debunked claim as well.
Yeah. So I don't think the Japanese have got anything to do with this one.
No.
But going back to
I think people are just looking at the geography.
Yeah.
And at the time period of World War II, just.
I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way.
It kind of does, but like there's still
circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, circumstantial evidence, exactly. That's what it is. It's just looking at face value.
Exactly.
And not going deeper. And then when it does go deeper, it just becomes less and less obvious.
Yeah. Another part of the spy theory is that she was in cahoots obviously being a spy, she was in cahoots with the US government, and that our actual plan was to go to another island,
Mm.
which is called something. Name of the island doesn't really matter anyway.
I think it's Marshall Islands.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the Marshall Islands. Basically, she was actually to go to the Marshall Islands, which gave the US government authority to search that area. Well, in brackets, search that area for her. And in reality, they're actually just try to get reconnaissance, try to get info on this
Yeah.
Marshall Islands, which
Like data collection.
yeah,
Kind
which
of
was so what was so important about the Marshall Islands again?
I think that's the islands where they believe that was one of the Japanese territory.
Yeah, it was Japanese territory. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Because obviously, like we said, around this time World War Two was about to break out.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people may have thought the Japanese had something to do with it
Yeah.
because it's their territory.
So basically, it was along the Marshall Islands was kind of along the same kind of line as the
Of the coordinates she gave out when she was
yeah.
on flight.
So that gave the US government, like I said, an excuse to search that area.
Yeah.
Or again, in brackets, inverted commas, sorry,
Search.
that area.
Yeah.
But again, there's no evidence for that. I mean, she was a very well documented person.
Yeah,
Surely spies you are a bit less documented. I mean, I can think of.
I can't think of any evidence in our past that made her had any links to the government per se.
No.
In terms of like FBI spying.
No.
I didn't see anything like that.
And back then as well, I mean, the US government was very, let's say, manly. I highly doubt they would.
Patriarchal.
They would hire women, but then again, maybe a woman would be the perfect person, because who would that time period to suspect a woman to be a spy for the government?
No, maybe.
But again, there's no evidence that she was ever government. She was who she said was, an author, a very well honoured, if that's the right word.
What do you mean?
Very honoured pilot.
Yeah.
Or is that the right word? A very well respected,
yeah.
Famous pioneer.
Yeah.
So I think she is who she says she was, and
I mean, if you want my like personal theory or the most conclusive thing is it's just another crash. Yeah.
I mean, I think this one's a bit more straightforward than Malaysia.
Yeah.
Because I think she just crashed and died.
Yeah.
But again,
there was no weird flight pass or anything.
There's no weird flight pass.
She wasn't giving out weird information.
She gave her coordinates and that. Yep. And the fact that she was so close that they could see her on radar, and she wasn't, you can actually see her, but raises questions.
Yeah, and also the fact that she was really trying to break a record of flying without fuel.
Yeah.
Just plays more to the fact that she's been not as like careful.
I think she's trying to be quite arrogant.
She's trying to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
She's trying to reach that goal of like world record that she kind of fell short sighted in her plan and didn't use backup fuel or anything like that.
And also, Fred Noonan, co-pilot, was probably just he couldn't do much.
Yeah.
When she's in charge, she's the boss.
Yep.
So I mean,
just a tragic accident.
I think obviously I think nothing will be found of this. If this is still in the ocean, it'll be
or the aliens kidnapped it.
Oh aliens! Oh yeah, before I mention aliens.
Aliens, man.
I'm not saying it's aliens again, but it's aliens.
That's your first slogan.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. We didn't even mention that because.
I mean, why? What else is it to say? We've used it for every theory, and it doesn't just plan out.
I mean, let's have a look here. Several unsupported theories have been known. Spies were mentioned that one.
Tokyo Rose.
Was that a rumor has claimed that Earhart had made propaganda radio broadcasts as one of the men and women compelled to serve as Tokyo Rose was investigated closely.
She's the first female podcaster as well.
What's Tokyo Rose? Tokyo Rose was a name given to Allied troops in the South Pacific during World War II to all female English speaking. So basically it goes back to the kind of part.
World War II. So it's like a weird like subsection of the military where it's all female.
Yeah. What's the New Britain theory? That theory that Earhart may have turned back mid-flight has been posited. She would have tried to reach the airfield at Rabaul, New Britain, northeast of Papua New Guinea. Yada yada yada. Again, it all goes just back to World War II.
I don't see that as supported that she made a random turn back to Britain. If that's what the theory's saying.
No, it wasn't Britain. It was called New Britain.
Oh, New Britain, right? Okay.
Which is.
What is that? An island or something?
Have a look. New Britain is the largest island in the Bismarck it's part in Papua New Guinea.
Okay, right. That's okay. That makes a bit more sense than I thought.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if Papua New Guinea was ever under a British colony.
I'm not brushed up my history.
No.
All I know is Indonesia was colonised by the Dutch, but I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Britain.
Yeah.
I know Britain like Caribbean islands and that, but nothing. I don't know about
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, I mean, the fact it's called New Britain makes me should think that. But
Highly
yeah, again,
likely,
this
yeah.
series goes back to World War Two. Kind of touched on that. Yeah, I mean, I just think she just burned and crashed.
Yep.
And like I said,
Fell into the waves.
if she's still in the ocean somewhere, it'll be long gone. There's no way it's getting found now.
Yeah, it'll be well deep.
I mean, Malaysia, I mean, that is not strong, but it's still, with all the technology nowadays and the fact that it's a big airliner, could still get found.
Maybe when she crashed in the M7 plane, it could just bend
I
her.
mean, the Malaysian went into a wormhole and then took that back in time, and that crashed into Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, that's what caused the plane crash. Amelia
Yeah.
Earhart went for that time walk and just hit the other plane. They both went down together.
And they landed on the Flannan Islands,
Yeah.
and that caused a big wave, which took out
Perfect.
the men.
Case closed. We've
Case
solved
closed.
it, guys.
We've linked all three together.
There we are.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
Anything else to add
To
to that?
really
I mean,
add
there's a
to
bit,
that, yeah.
like I said, like we've said a few times, it's a lot more simple than Malaysia. There's no like
Very-
weird flight paths. There's no weird communication turns off. I mean,
Nothing to do like
there was
either.
communication turn off, but I think that's due to the weather
Yeah.
and obviously the time period and that.
Yep. Yeah. No,
We
it's
also forgot to mention that she was used to flying on, which makes this a bit more mysterious as well. She was used to fly under pressure because one time it was our plane was basically on fire,
Yeah.
and she still managed to fly it safely.
Even if you're used to under pressure, doesn't mean you're always prepared for every situation.
Yeah.
This must have been something really dire, and I remember in the communication she was really panicking. I think
Yeah.
they said so. Yeah, it's not a guarantee.
Even though
you're
she
gonna-
said status okay. Oh, we've got to mention that apparently a air traffic controller, a young girl at the time, after she apparently crashed Amelia Earhart, this young girl received messages
Yeah.
from Amelia Earhart saying,
was it by
help-
chance?
"Hell, I don't know."
Okay.
Well, she's saying, I'm Amelia Earhart. I'm Amelia Earhart. Please help me."
Yeah.
And this young girl's father took this to the authorities, but they dismissed it because they were getting so many different
okay.
reports.
Aye.
Yeah,
well,
so that does suggest that maybe she was alive
Yeah.
a week afterwards.
Yeah. Possibly.
Which could, again, she could have crashed somewhere, survived long enough to make these messages, and then just died.
Starvation.
Yeah.
Most likely.
But
Dehydration. Like, that could be a
dehydration
big killer as well when you're stuck in
Killer
an island 'cause
crabs.
You can't drink. Yeah, or the crabs. Yeah.
of the aliens. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but again, there's very mysterious circumstances in this one.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot more simple than the Malaysian one.
I think all these theories all come down to just natural disaster.
I think I can certainly see the Amelia Earhart one and
The island.
the island, but the
lighthouse
Malaysian one just just something doesn't
is
sit well
definitely-
with me.
That is definitely the most suspicious one, but if I'm going by the evidence I have right now, it's probably just a freak accident.
Again, like I said, go back to Occam's razor.
Yeah.
But then, can you really use Occam's razor here when there's such weird?
I know. I'm
Platforms?
not saying for definite, but I'm just saying it's the most plausible one.
Yeah. I mean, they're all very mysterious, but again, that's Malaysian one. Just
Maybe
keep it going.
if new info comes out, we should probably do a part 2.
Yeah.
Maybe
like-
do a whole episode on the
Yeah.
Malaysia one if more info comes out.
Oh,
It's definitely a
actually,
fascinating one.
touching on more info, our previous episode we actually touched on, or we didn't touch on, we actually covered Madeleine McCann
Yeah.
in the last day or two, I believe.
Yeah.
The Home Office has granted a
Investigation
£300,000
for it.
not investigation, the
Oh.
extra funds.
Okay.
They've granted £300,000 extra funds towards finding Maddie,
Yeah.
which now equates to nearly 12 million being spent on this case, which
Yeah.
I don't want to sound insensitive in the slightest. My laptop's going again. I don't want to sound insensitive in the slightest, but I just think it's time to close this case.
We'll see. In case they might find something new. I always like to be optimistic about stuff like this.
Hopefully.
But who knows?
Hopefully, but I think it's time to put it in the back. I think the family should move. It's not good for them to dwell on this. I mean, obviously they want to get their daughter back, but I think for them mentally and for the twins as well, let's not forget about them.
Yeah.
I think it's better if they just move on. So yeah, so we
Yeah.
we up.
I don't like to comment on family stuff
Yeah.
like that. I like to just.
I know. I know it's hard.
It's their own grief.
I
I'll
know.
let them deal with it in their own ways.
I know, but if they do it gets found, that's fantastic. But I don't know. But yeah, that was a wee update on one of the previous cases we covered. There's not been any information on the Zeb one because I know that was recent as well because someone actually got convicted of
Yeah,
that.
I've not heard anything.
Might
get Ali back for that one.
Alex Ali, yeah, Ali knows.
He's on the nose for
He's
that
on the
one.
ball with that one.
Yep.
But yeah, I think next time we might be looking at. Oh my god, Facebook, go away. I think maybe next time we might be looking at dark web, so look forward to that, dear listeners, or possibly something else, depending on who I can get available for the next episode. But yeah, thanks for digging down the rabbit hole. We'll dig a little deeper next time. Bye bye.
Take care.